Arman Tsarukyan goes in there and shuts down Dan Hooker, and I'm still dealing with a bit of a camera issue, but I'm not even long home. I was at Qatar. I was at the fight. I'm going to do a little bit about it. It was one of the best experiences of all time. I want to start with the main event because that's obviously the most talking point. Arman Tsarukyan comes back into the mix and he gets a win over Dan Hooker. I fucking originally had a round 2 TKO. I said he's going to butcher him and finish him in 2 rounds for the last few months. And then I thought a little bit closer. I thought, Arman's been out for a bit. Arman's been out for a while. He might look a bit ring rusty. Dan Hooker's quite hard to finish. Pretty sure the last person to finish him on the ground was Makhachev. So I was like, I don't really see Arman maybe getting it done that way. But he fucking did. And I should have stuck with my round 2 prediction. But fuck it, we're here now. And this had to be the biggest statement performance for Arman Tsarukyan of all time. I've been saying for the last couple of months that Ilia Topuria is ducking him, and I will stand by this. I just don't think we're going to see Arman versus Ilia. I don't think we're going to see Arman versus Ilia in January. I think it could be end of next summer before we see that fight. I feel like Ilia's going to fight Paddy or Gaethje, and it's I just don't understand how you can't give it to Tsarukyan. It's the biggest fight in the sport. Like, currently at the moment, obviously Islam versus Ilia is the biggest. But this is the second best. And I think Arman's going to beat Ilia. And I've been saying this. I have been saying how good Tsarukyan is. He's the best gate roller in the UFC. For some reason, Dan Hooker saw Charles Oliveira not being able to get a guillotine on Arman over here. And he thought he'd go for it. And fuck it. Like, for Hooker, it's quite sad because we're all massive Dan Hooker fans. But I just don't think Hooker's ever going to get to that next level. And Tsarukyan really showed out in this one. Nearly 2 years, not 2 years, a year and a half outside of the cage. And he comes back and puts on a stable performance. You could not have looked any better. He was landing in the first round. He was landing on Dan Hooker in the feet, and he showed good power. And then the guillotine escaped to end up on top and do some damage, and then like a mounted arm triangle. It was the absolute best performance that Tsarukyan could have went out there and put on. You know what I mean? He showed that he can strike. He showed that he's incredible on the ground. And this is exactly where he's going to give Ilia Topuria problems. Leading up to the fight, a little bit more towards the fight, I thought, okay, Hooker can, use a bit of range here. I never thought Dan Hooker was going to win, but I was a little bit worried Arman might have like mad ring rust and Hooker might be able to catch him with something. Never thought Dan Hooker was going to win, but that was something on my mind of like, maybe Hooker might, land a good knee up the middle. But then I remember Dan Hooker has been out for quite a while as well. And it was just a great performance from Arman Tsarukyan. The way he's able to just escape from submissions like that, and even in the Oliveira fight, he escaped from a guillotine in the first round, nearly got caught in a triangle in the second, was kind of saved by the bell, but the way he was kind of leaning up, it looked like he was going to get out. And for Ilia Topuria, this is the absolute hardest fight. And I've been saying for a while that Ilia just isn't really that guy that people are making him out to be. I still have a lot more work to see from Ilia, if I'm being honest with you, and I think it starts right here. If his next fight is Gaethje or Pimblett, I'll be... everything I said about Ilia, I will actually, it kind of comes true, because I've been saying he doesn't want the hardest fights. I have been saying for a while now that Tsarukyan is his hardest fight. I think everyone in the kind of MMA world knew that Tsarukyan was his hardest fight, but it's one thing going out there and putting on a statement like that to really show that you were his hardest fight. I think Arman Tsarukyan would finish Ilia Topuria. I'm going to say it on here now after seeing that, and I know it's only Dan Hooker, but this guy's beating Charles Oliveira. This guy absolutely dismantled Beneil Dariush in the first round with a TKO. A lot of people were picking this dude to beat Makhachev. This is the real deal, and this is why I don't think Ilia's going to want to take this fight. Ilia is the most unactive champion I've ever seen in my entire life. He's never been an active fighter, though. Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking disgrace, if I'm being honest with you. And for Tsarukyan, I want to see this quick turnaround. And he said, yeah, look, like he's been saying all week, like, I'm going to be ready for January. He's going to be ready for January. Why? There's no reason. What is the story with this Paramount card? It's December in a few days, and we don't know one fucking fight. You do Paddy versus Gaethje, and you do Tsarukyan versus Ilia. You don't do Tsarukyan versus Ilia in the end of the summer. That's nearly a fucking year away. You take this fight while it's hot. If they do Pimblett or fucking Gaethje, it's a fucking joke. And I feel like the UFC are going to do that. I don't think we're going to see this fight next. I just know the UFC are such fucking shitebags and such fucking melons. And so they can't matchmake to save their fucking life, that they'll just put him in there. And a little part of me has a little bit of hope that they haven't done it yet, simply because of this outcome, and they're waiting to see this outcome. I saw Hunter Campbell in Qatar, so I'm fucking hoping those glasses work and that he can see what's next, which is clearly Tsarukyan. I believe Tsarukyan's top game is going to be something Ilia's never fought. You know, Bryce Mitchell was able to get him on his back. I've been saying this for a long time. He couldn't finish Josh Emmett. I know Josh Emmett is an extremely durable fighter, but Josh Emmett's a big right hand, and that's about it. No one mixes it in well like Tsarukyan, and we haven't really seen Ilia fight an absolutely incredible grappler. To go from Bryce Mitchell to an Arman Tsarukyan in, you know what the fucking funny thing is? Like, I see a load of people showing clips of Tsarukyan getting caught by Charles on the feet. I'm just like, wow. Thank God you bring up one fucking clip of Arman Tsarukyan getting wobbled in a fucking UFC fight. And he got wobbled by someone else as well. Thank God that you brought up the one fucking clip. You know, I haven't seen the fucking head kick that Jai Herbert landed, or Bryce Mitchell getting him on his back. You won't see them fucking clips from Ilia fans. You just won't see it. And Tsarukyan's going to be able to get him down. I do think Tsarukyan will be able to get him down. I think Tsarukyan's going to have extremely good top control over Ilia. This no cameras fucking shit. I'm sorry. I'm going to have it back tomorrow, hopefully. The on-top ability of Tsarukyan's going to be able to land, and the pressure that Tsarukyan's going to be able to use on Ilia is something that he's never ever seen before. And Ilia's little big bro, where is he? He fought in this card, looked pretty decent, you know. I didn't know if he was going to win that fight. I think I picked him to lose as well. Actually, didn't think that was a good scrap, and he looked good. But for Arman, bro, he's the real deal. And it's going to take someone special. It's going to take an Ilia Topuria. This is the biggest fight in the division. This is, fuck the Paddy Pimblett fight. This is way bigger. And I want to see this fight next. I want to see this fight. Book these massive fights. Okay, there's no point booking Gaethje. No one wants to see that shit. Let Justin Gaethje retire. No one gives a fuck. Okay, and absolutely nobody gives a fuck about Justin Gaethje versus fucking Ilia Topuria. It's just the most dead fight of all time. And for the rest of the division, things are going to fall into place. Hooker, I would love to see Hooker Moicano. The thing about it makes a bit more sense that Arman won, because nobody's trying to see Hooker Topuria. Nobody's trying to see Dan Hooker versus Ilia Topuria, bro. Fucking great. I'm absolutely buzzing to see Arman back. I'm buzzing to see Arman win. I'm buzzing to see Arman back in the title mix. He pissed me the fuck off the last year simply because I know how good Tsarukyan is, and I just wanted to see him fight. Seems to be the moral of the story with all these UFC fighters now. No one wants to fight. But great to see Arman back. Ian Machado Gary versus Belal Muhammad. I picked Ian Gary to win. He looked good, man. Ian Gary looked good in this fight. It wasn't the absolute one-sided beatdown that the Ian Gary will say it is. Plus, he got absolutely punked by Khamzat Chimaev. That was crazy. Belal Muhammad was actually landing on Ian Gary. The second round was very close. I probably would have gave that to Belal, to be honest with you. Gave the first and the third to Ian. I feel like this was extremely close, if I'm being honest. He ain't beating Makhachev. I don't think he beats Makhachev at all, to be honest with you. Belal Muhammad's grappling, the takedowns were quite poor. I seen him getting a few singles, but he never really... Even Bilal's wrestling is kind of shit, if I'm being honest with you. He looked good against like Vicente Luque and like Wonderboy and Leon Edwards and stuff. Apart from that, JDM was able to figure him out. JDM looked a lot better against Belal than Ian did, which does definitely, worry me. I know Belal was able to get JDM down, but, I just feel like Ian did a little bit more often, if that makes sense. He was showing a little bit more. He was landing a little bit more. Ian Gary looked good at range. He always looks good at range, though. Do you know what I mean? That's Ian's game. I never really thought he was going to get Belal out there. I definitely didn't think he was going to finish Belal Muhammad. And just the way Ian gets on the mic, it was cold there. It was a great post-fight interview, and the arena was buzzing when he did it. But I'm just like, I genuinely think Makhachev could probably beat Ian Gary with just a stand-up alone. I think Makhachev's a better striker. Ian Gary's definitely going to be better with the kicks. He's definitely, he's fucking tall, man. This dude's big for the weight class. Definitely going to be able to use the kicks to keep Makhachev at range, which is going to be good. Ian Gary's the number one contender. Okay, Ian Gary is the number one contender. He's beaten Jeff Neal. He's beaten Carlos Prates. He's beaten Neil Magny. He's beaten MVP. He's beaten fucking Carlos Prates on short notice. He just beat Bilal Muhammad. He had a good fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. But the thing about Ian is, I don't know if I think Bilal Muhammad is not the top echelon of this division anymore. I think Ian is, I think Shavkat is, I think Morales is, and I think Prates is. He beat Carlos Prates quite comfortably on short notice. I think Michael Morales might be able to beat Ian Gary, if I'm being honest. I think Morales would probably have the range. But I definitely think Ian is in that fight. I think that's a great fight. Shavkat's an interesting one. Shavkat beat him. Ian Gary, man, I feel like he's really annoying. Like, he is fucking annoying, okay? But this dude is the definition of anyone, anywhere. He'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. How many short notice fights does Ian Gary have to take? He's a stud. No, he's not a stud, actually. He's a complete cook. But, like, in the cage and in regards fighting, he's a stud. Outside of that, he's a cook. But listen, I'm delighted Ian won. I had full confidence Ian was going to win. Absolute full confidence. Kamaru Usman can get fucked. Absolutely no way does he deserve fucking anything in this division. You know, you could even do Bilal versus Buckley. I don't think that would be a bad fight to get Buckley back in the mix as well after losing to Usman. You know, I hope Bilal Muhammad is never coming back as regards like going to go on a win streak and fight for the belt again. His time is up, and the continuous streak of your next fight after losing the belt at 170 continues. I'm never ever betting on someone that's the champ and then loses. JDM's going to lose his next fight. And Makhachev versus Ian's a massive fucking fight. Excuse me. I definitely feel like I just think like Makhachev's takedowns are going to be way more effective than Bilal. Like, this isn't even comparable. I definitely think Ian can cause Makhachev a problem at range. You know, it's going to be the first time he's fought someone really lanky with legs. Really lanky with legs. That makes sense. Really lanky with legs that's going to be able to give him problems at range. Like, Ian's kicks are going to be an issue for Makhachev. I do think that. And I feel like I wouldn't say his in-range boxing is. He'll be able to land sometimes, but listen, Bilal Muhammad was able to land on Ian. And there were some moments I was like, oh shit. And like, Bilal's striking's absolutely terrible. And yeah, man, Ian Gary looked good. It was a close fight though, which was just does worry me. Like, you shouldn't be making it close with Bilal, especially after we saw what Makhachev did to JDM. But yeah, I'm happy for Ian. He got the job done. Yeah, he got punked by Hamzat Chimaev, saying he's small dick energy and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just the way Ian goes on about these fucking, you know, masterclass performances, and like you won probably 2-1. Am I the only one that thinks that? I don't know. But the rest of the card was actually very good. We had Alfonso Mainfield getting starts. I thought he was going to win that fight. The atmosphere for this card was absolutely incredible. Luke Riley, lad. Yes, lad. You know, what the fuck was that for loose land? Fucking class. Where is he? Where is he? It's going to hurt even seeing him. Where is he? 1 sec. Ah, Shamrock, no. I walked in the arena and Shamrock was losing. I was like, fuck. Man. Shamrock, lad. You know what I'm saying, lad? Just short. Just fucking short today, lad. We're going to be back. Coming for fucking everyone. Shamrock just looked a little bit flat in the feet. I was a little bit sad. I was fucking roaring for Shamrock. I love Shamrock. He's so fucking funny. But Luke Riley picking up an absolutely incredible win. Absolutely starched him with the left. Been watching Luke for a long time in Cage Warriors. Put on possibly the greatest 5-round Cage Warriors fight of all time. Great Cage Warriors fight of all time. So absolutely buzzing to see Luke Riley get back in the cage. And yeah, it was a really good card, bro. It was a really, really good card. Horiguchi as well. Jesus, 3 performances at night. Horiguchi shut your man down. That was actually an incredible win from Horiguchi. Really, really happy about that. Waldo Cortez Acosta. Bit of a beast, bro. Shamil Gaziev, the Blob. Jack Hermanson. It was a fucking incredible card. Submission, decision, TKO, TKO, TKO. Submission, TKO, split decision, submission, decision, TKO, decision. So lots and lots and lots of TKOs, stuff like that. Topuria's brother looked quite good in the feet. I think he looked good in the grappling as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see. It's good to have him a bantamweight. He definitely mixes in the striking as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him versus Corey Sandhagen next. You know the way the UFC likes to push these fighters. But UFC Qatar was absolutely insane. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life. And the whole card was absolutely stacked. And it's good to see Tsarukyan back in the mix. And it's incredible to see. Like, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.